I was also glad that we didn't have 11-year-olds played by 30-year-olds.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was great.
Okay, sweet.
We're back.
Are you there, Margaret?
Are you there, Susan?
Are you there, God?
It's me,
Are you there,
Margaret.
God? It's me, Margaret.
Anyway,
We must.
there's Judy
increase
Blume.
that.
Okay. Welcome to girldom. This is the every girl knows this world. And I don't care when you were born in time. Even though it takes place in 1970, it's timeless. A coming of age film adapted from Judy Blume's novel of the same name. It's by the
Well, it's easy for you to say.
The film is adapted by Kelly Freeman Craig. Abby Ryder Forston plays Margaret. Oh, and she's so incredible. Is totally adorable and believable as an 11-year-old girl whose family is moving to from New York to New Jersey. She goes, please don't let New Jersey be too terrible, God. Right? This is a fate worse than death to her until they provocative and buoyant Nancy Ellie Graham, who invites her to run through the sprinklers with her. And they meet Nancy's brother and Moose. The Moose is Aidan Wojtak-Hissong. The brother is Landon X. Baxter. But actually, New Jersey doesn't look so bad after that.
Good-looking kid.
After she meets Moose, right? Her parents, Barbara, Rachel Adams, and
McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
McAdams.
Okay, and Herb Ben Sadi,
Safdie.
thank you, are a mixed religious couple. Barbara also has to adapt because she's a art teacher and she's going to become a mom, a full-time mom and housekeeper, something she knows nothing about. And so she no longer needs to work. She's very enthusiastic, but really knows nothing about how to go about this. She is a lovely person. The mom. She is a lovely person and equally as charismatic as her daughter. Kathy Bates plays grandmother on her father's side, Sylvia. And Sylvia and Margaret have a great and funny relationship. They have a great relationship. This is a film for young adults, especially females, as we go through all the awkwardness of puberty. I really like Judy Blume as a writer and as a young adult book. So I wanted to see this movie because I really liked her. Because of my own daughter, I was aware of Judy Blume and many of her books. And this book is 50 years old. I mean, this book was written 50 years ago and it still applies. And I like them because the girls are so... some things don't change. And that's these girls. There's always the Nancy, who's like the one who's going to get you in trouble. My Maxine. There's always, you know what I mean? It's like it's always true. So I love this movie. I loved the book. I loved everything about it. So I would highly suggest everybody can... George watched it with me, right? And you also found it fascinating. It's just so fun. That's all I say.
Oh, God. This is probably the movie I hated the most.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because even though I love the concept of what they were telling, The mother is so 2023. She's not like from 1970. I was there at 1970. That's not what mothers were like. The girl herself was not that age group. She wasn't true to form. The thing about getting her period, that's true. All those Hallmark things do exist. Going to health class, watching the slushing of your
The cow.
your cervix.
The cow.
They make us. I remember thinking, God, this is disgusting. But they never show that part. It's like they made her very. I'm going to say it again, vanilla white. It's like she had no true emotion. The girl, and,
The little girl or the mother?
and more. It pissed me off because they weren't true to form, especially the mother. The mother was not a 1970 mother.
It was written in 1970.
I don't
You
care.
think the
if
mother
they
was?
did.
You think that she was more like a 2020 mother?
2023 mother? Yeah.
Mm.
Understanding, wonderful. In 1970, your mother went, "You just do it because I told you so." You know, there's certain things that don't change.
Well, I think we're getting insight on their upbringing with
Yeah.
their mother.
You don't want to know our upbringing, right? And I'll put that into consideration, Lon. How far
I totally
can I go?
relate it.
But there's certain things that mothers didn't do in 1970, and considering your child's thoughts and welfare were not one of them. It was like, fit in with the group, and this is what we do. And that was very 1970. And there was a kind of safety in that because you knew they knew nothing about you. You know, they were never going to know anything about you. And basically you could do what you want without them being there.
Although I do agree with you, Patty, that I'm surprised that they only in 1970 had one child.
Yeah.
That was kind of odd.
Yeah. Nobody had one child. Everybody had
Well, I thought
5 or
that
6.
Emma Stone was their other daughter.
Ooh. She could have been. No.
Maybe.
So I did not like this movie because of that. And for some reason, that really pissed me off that they were not showing the true depiction of a 1970 mother. And therefore, the child could not react in a typical
Let me just
1970
tell
child.
you, I'm a 1970 mother, and I liked it a lot.
You weren't like her.
Yeah, I did.
You
I
weren't
was.
like her at all.
Exactly. We were hippies. Hello.
Yes, but she wasn't even like a hippie.
She was an
hippie.
artist.
Oh, I disagree. Yes, because she was an artist. Yeah,
Yeah, she was an artist. I get that. But
and she married outside her faith.
yeah, God forbid.
Exactly.
You, Lon.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Out of all the movies, this was my favorite.
I know it's everybody's
And-
favorite.
I told everyone that's probably 'cause I really lowered my expectations. I didn't see the trailer. I just thought, oh, it's about this adolescent girl. What do I know? Like last time we did Barbie. What do I know about this world? I'm completely going to be left cold. And that's what I was expecting. Oh, going to be like Barbie. Oh, it'll be fun enough, but nothing. I was so impressed with this movie only because not so much what you're saying about maybe the family dynamic, but literally I said, they nailed prepubescent adolescence.
Yes.
Exactly. And I'm not just talking on a female point of view. I'm talking even as I remembered it being that at one point you sort of discussed it with your friends, you're
Always.
discussed with your parents, you're discussed with everything and even yourself at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
I say you discuss it with everybody but your
Exactly.
parents. Yeah.
And so that's what's really sort of amazed me. I said, at one point, it's like, I am there with her on that aspect. Now, oddly, what you said about the parenting part, because I thought this was the interesting part, because the fact that she's actually talks to God is one thing. But then when later on the film or in the story wise, you learn that she doesn't believe in God because her parents decided to raise her without a religion.
Right.
Only because the father was Jewish, the mother came from a upbringing of Catholicism, and then that sort of sends a dynamic. The thing that surprised me, though, is
I don't think that was Catholicism.
No, I think it was like
evangelical.
fundamentalism.
Yes.
I know it's Christian then. Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
evangelical.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Catholics are
Because
not like that.
all I remember is they said, they wanted her to be baptized.
Right.
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 So you had that aspect out of it. Then, but her relationship with her grandmother.
Right.
I thought, okay, there's the grandmother who gets so ecstatic and excited when she says, oh, well, maybe you can take me to temple one time.
Right.
I mean, immediately that comes out. So it's all that kind of stuff that's what I like when they addressed it, because that's the thing that sort of also surprised me is they're addressing religion at, during this time period of her upbringing. They're addressing her sexual awakening, literally.
Yeah.
And in this one as well. And I was just so impressed with how the whole cast sort of dealt with it. Because you're right. Actually, her parents are almost like the perfect parents, to be quite honest. That I will say. But they obviously had the hard time. I could identify her as well as somebody who went to 6 different schools in 6 different years.
Yeah, right.
In a row.
We went to so many different religions. It's not even funny.
Okay, yeah. See,
That
exactly.
was a great thing. I thought.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, it was a good education. At least you get that knowledge. But see, she wasn't even taught any of that. And they both taught her the religion, but the parents really turned away from that because of the situation, which you find out throughout the movie. But I was really impressed with, like you said, Abby Ryder Forston. I thought she was adorable. I thought she was excellent. She was so likable. But the fact that like I said at the beginning, I'm just hating this. When she's told at the beginning, she's told she's going to have to move. So, but then the mother, like you said, says, "Oh well, I'm going to give up teaching," and immediately says, "But you love teaching."
Right.
The fact she's that aware of her mother and what her mother does really impressed me with that
That's a
character
girl
right
for
away.
you.
Which is, like I said, very
In the
surprising.
70s, nobody would have said that.
No, I totally disagree
I
with
really
you.
disagree with you. on that.
I
really
disagree with Patty on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that girls are very aware of stuff.
Right.
that
They're older
boys
than
are
boys at the
not.
same age.
Well, no, exactly. They mature faster. That
Mature,
again.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that's the nature of girls. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
tend to
Okay.
notice what's
They
going on
menstruate.
around them.
Mhm.
Huh?
They menstruate. They go through something no boy can understand.
Well, that part I agree. I'm talking about the mother.
She was the boy in our
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
so
But
forget
then,
it.
and I must admit, it was so nice to see Rachel McAdams back on the screen, and I thought she was excellent playing this
she
role.
was wonderful.
Only because one thing, again, you go through adolescence, peer pressure, right? I love the fact that once she has to work and wants to be more of a parent, she has to face the exact same pressure her daughter is
Right.
because of that whole PTA
That's
thing,
true.
right?
Yeah.
That's
And she
true.
volunteers to do everything. She wants to be like the perfect suburban mother
Yeah.
of what she thinks a mother should be,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
That's when I thought, this story is really saying a lot. And again, no, if you're a 14-year-old boy, you're probably not going to like this. Even if you're a man, you might like this. I just know at my age now, it's like, I'm not squeamish about all this stuff anymore. In fact, at one point I thought, gee, I wonder if they think I'm going to be pervy for liking this movie. Remember, like you guys watched that French film
Oh,
about
yeah,
the young
right,
girl?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
And I really
What
thought,
French
but I
film?
said, no, this is like the perfect movie to show anyone what a young girl at 12 or 11, I guess she's going to
Yeah,
turn
she's
12,
11.
goes through. And I thought this was a great representation, and for me at least, to really get inducted into that, how her life with her friends, because it wasn't until sort of later on when she feels like a friend sort of lied to her that you see her turn in a way. And I thought, oh, this is where it's going to get dark and that moody and everything. And yet that whole thing about peer pressure and then the people you don't like at school because you're not supposed to like them.
Well, also
All that is there in this.
also
movie,
the
you know?
thing about the one girl who matured much
That's what I meant.
faster.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
And,
I felt bad
and
for her.
that is so true.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the
It's
fact
like-
that, yes,
yes.
exactly. And the fact
they
that
got it perfect.
you realize it's because some of them are jealous of her, basically. And that's why they're saying all these horrible stories,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I mean about the lying part. It's like, you, even as a young kid, I mean, you will lie to like not hurt people's feelings. But when you're lying just because you're making a story because of something, that's where I think she really, as a character, you see her sort of understand. Which is why when it gets towards the end, it's like, you know what? I'm completely satisfied with this kind of the way the movie ended. because, like I said, if you're going to watch a girl going during her period, it's like, oh my God, do I really have to watch this? I don't want to
It's
see
a
this.
rite of passage.
Well, exactly. For
Why
women in
Why is it
general.
so
right?
yucky to guys? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Well, for me, I
It's
know
all
when I was a
bloody.
young kid,
Yeah.
exactly. I think that's actually
Yeah, I
what it
understand
comes
what it
down
is.
to.
What?
So bloody.
The fact that your body will, because of what it goes through, will bleed. And then the second part of that, when you're in the middle age and you have to go through that same hormonal
Right.
change,
Talk to me,
you
Lon.
you just know that they start behaving differently, right?
Yes.
And that's when it's like, oh my God, this is really difficult for me to deal with of that person. Not so
Yeah.
much that what she has
Right,
to deal with,
right.
it's having to deal with that
The
person.
person.
So, but
It's when they become
It's-
human beings.
yeah. And
Sure.
and the funny thing too for me is like, okay, I thought, oh, this will be interesting to see Kathy Bates playing Jewish, you know.
Is she
she's
Jewish?
good.
She played a great
I-
Jewish mom.
Well, we
Grandma.
disagree on that, but I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but I have to give it, and also the, like you said, Benny Safdie playing the father. He wasn't quite all there, but
Right.
you know, as a character, I thought he was fine. So her parenting, you thought, you know, they did a really good, again, how I say it, they do a really good job of raising a child
I
who
agree.
can be sort of that openness in the context of the movie. Now, does this reflect reality? I can honestly
No.
say I don't know, but
No.
to me, this is like, for me, the perfect kind of adolescent, going through adolescence, dealing with it. And I thought it was very entertaining and charming.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
So
As a person
okay.
who went through that,
But,
I agree.
Okay,
Let's see if I can
George.
read my writing. First of all, I don't know how she could not like New Jersey. That's where the smithereens come from.
That's where what comes from?
Whoopee.
The smithereens.
But see, don't forget,
Oh.
it's
One of his
71.
favorite bands.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Or
So-
70, whatever.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it because I wasn't gonna relate to it, but it was kind of like a learning experience for me too. And I'm gonna get letters, but after watching this, I was like, "Thank God I was a boy."
Oh, that's exactly
Oh
what I
my
say
God.
all the
Letters?
time
'Cause
because of the
that's stuff that you
bleeding.
go through
I tell you.
letters?
Yes.
He said
It
he's
would
going to
be
get letters.
interesting
Do
with
we-
the
No,
movie
he's
with
going
the
to get
boys.
letters
I
from
know,
a
but
boy's
are
dad.
there people sending us letters?
Oh,
No.
it was.
They
No,
will
but you know
now.
what? The stuff that girls go through.
He's from
Wow.
an all-boy family.
Yeah. So, and then like he's talking about you didn't believe Rachel McAdams'
No.
character,
No.
but I was thinking that she plays a parent, and that this could go to any generation, even though that her friends, the blonde girl that's really outgoing
Right,
and everything.
right.
That girl's mother to me was like the mother for that time period, like
Absolutely.
even 50s.
She was totally
But she almost
that.
feels like she's like, "Okay, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rachel McAdams to me representing a mother that you still see that they're just kind of learning on the job, so they don't have it together. And because she was working as a teacher all the time, and now she's going to be home because the father has a
Right.
new job, and they're moving.
That she doesn't need to work.
She doesn't need to work, so she's going to be at home now. But you can tell she still wants to be,
No.
a teacher.
She didn't do the 1970s mother. That other lady did it perfect.
But
She even looked perfect.
But the other lady represented that classic 1970s, 60s, and 50s mother where
Yeah.
they have it together.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're a young kid, that's what you want to be your mother because she has it together. She's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
gonna be like this.
I would disagree about having it together because that's
Right.
the one thing that's what I said about this movie that I thought was interesting is that it is the mothers of the time period.
Yes.
Right?
But like I said, she's almost, and the daughter is basically behaving like her. So
But
are
you talking
these
about-
really the people who are together?
the daughter's friend's mother, the blonde girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a whole scene where she's going through a period and everything, and the mother's even though she gets jarred by it, she's like a nurse. She knows what to do. She tells her, "Go give me a pad." She's like,
Right.
and when you're a child, you want a parent that's that level of control because you feel safe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I mean about that kind of mother
Mhm.
from the 60s and 50s. I mean, even
Right.
now. But Rachel McAdams to me represents a mother that is just learning on the job. They're young. So every experience is also going to be kind of,
Also,
what do I
that-
do?
that's her only child.
Yeah.
I think the other lady has 2 children.
At
Yeah.
least.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
boy
She
is
feels
older.
like she feels like an adult.
Right.
almost, like,
Yes.
So Rachel McAdams is more like she's like a young person who has a child and she's like, what do I do now?
As a
And
person who had
I'm
a
going,
I relate much more to Rachel. Than,
so yeah,
Right.
so she's like, what do I do now? I'm learning on the job. What do I do? So the movie shows her inexperience as a mother, but getting experience through the experience.
Of her daughter.
I disagree with that totally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So that's
Especially in a movie.
okay. So I thought that was, to me, that was but I'm not a girl. So I thought that was good. Oh my goodness, what was it? Oh, the movie shows a thing that Rachel McAdams is Catholic and she's married to a Jewish.
Well, Christian, not so much
Christian.
Catholic, but Christian.
Christian.
Yeah.
Christian.
See, I thought the same thing,
Oh, yeah.
Jordan. I say Catholic because that's what I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I
No,
thought-
Catholics don't act like that. That was
But you know
much
what?
more like what do you call that?
But here's the thing about-
Evangelical.
But I was thinking about this. So Christian means Christ, and I'm going, okay, wasn't Christ Jewish?
Yes.
So shouldn't you be like, oh my God, the ultimate? You're marrying a Jewish person. Christ is Jewish. You're like really into the actual thing. She would have been more
Accepting.
proud, proud. Oh my God, it's like you're marrying the actual religion of the person is from.
But I'll throw that to what Patty had said. See, that I think is a very current look at it. Back then, no. I'm sorry, Jesus was blonde and blue-eyed, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Well,
You're
yeah.
right.
Back in the 70s, Jesus was a blind Italian with blue eyes.
I think Jesus looked very much like a Palestinian.
Yeah.
He was
No,
a Palestinian
the
Jewish
way
person.
they portrayed him in the 70s and
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like, but also though, I found it hard to believe that somebody would have a hard time. Well, maybe not. I could be wrong. That a person is marrying somebody from a different religion. But
Yeah,
I'm also,
I had that problem
but
too.
I also have to consider the time period, 70s. It might be different than from now.
Right, exactly. Yes. In fact, there was a whole TV series called Bridget Loves Bernie that
Oh,
dealt
I
with that.
agree with George. I thought that actually the problem would be much more if the guy was marrying a non-Jewish woman, as opposed to that the Jewish guy would be a problem for the Christian parents. But maybe
Yeah, I found out to believe that-
I'm not from the United States. I'm not from New York.
Maybe she liked the Mormon guys. No.
Yeah,
So,
I
but you know what?
found
Did you
that
finish your
hard.
point?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I was thinking that the one thing I liked is like how the young girl, which I think she was great.
Oh my
and
God,
Rachel
she was
McAdams too. I
good.
thought they were great in this movie.
Right.
So I thought that one thing I like is that she's trying to find herself, and because the movie's about her she's speaking to God, and she's trying to find a religion because her mother is Christian and her father is Jewish. She's trying, and they won't let her pick a religion until she's older. So she's trying to find out. So she goes through her friends' churches, and I really like how she goes like to her friend that she's black and her church is gospel, and then like the classic gospel church, and she goes to her other friend and they're like a classical, more like a classical Christian church.
Right.
But I thought I like that how the movie show you the different religions and how the different churches show you how they worship themselves.
I agree.
So, but no, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I thought I was like, oh my God, a movie about a young girl going through puberty and all that. But no, I really enjoyed it.
Bob?
Me. Okay. I just wanted, since there are a couple of things that I had some problems with in this, I'm going to just get them out of the way. I didn't buy Kathy Bates as Jewish. I thought she gave a terrific performance, but I didn't. I never felt that she was Jewish. However, towards the beginning of the movie, she has one of the greatest lines in the movie, and it's a throwaway that's almost hidden on the soundtrack. When they say we're moving to New Jersey, and she says, "New Jersey, that's where all the mafia people own restaurants and they shoot each other." And I thought, now that's a great line, but it was just like sort of buried. It wasn't out there. Also, at first, I had a problem with the mother that Patty's referring to as being the
Rachel
real
Adams.
70s mother. And that was, I thought it was kind of an overdrawn character. But then she has a scene that's where we see what she's really made of and see that that's all a performance too. And that's when her daughter is in the toilet.
Yeah, George talked about
restaurant,
that
yeah.
scene. Yeah.
And she needs her mother to come and take care of her as she's having her first period.
Yeah.
And I thought that you have what you're saying about, first of all, this book was written by Judy Blume. I don't know Judy Blume's parents. I'm not criticizing the parents. I don't care about the depiction of the parents here. I say this is what she experienced from her parents, and I'll accept that. And like as far as the Rachel McAdams' character not being 70s. She's dead on 1970s.
No way.
Yes, she
Yes,
is.
no way.
Yes, she
I
is
agree.
because
Sorry,
I'm
no way.
Okay, you're-
I was
pretty- hold on.
1970. I'm a girl. I had a mother.
Patty,
I'm
let
a
me-
mother.
let me finish,
And that's
Patty.
1970s mother.
let me finish, please. Okay. You said that she's like a 23. Yeah, bullshit. You know what parents are like now? Leave me alone. I got too much on my mind. I can't be bothered with you kids.
No,
Well, I disagree
totally
with that
opposite.
one.
Me too.
Well, that's
They're totally,
what I see.
What are you thinking? What
She
are you
seemed like
feeling?
Well, yes, you see, and what they are now is they're portraying woke instead of being real.
They're so woke.
I approached this movie saying, well, I don't. And by the way, I only watched this movie about 3 hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I watched it twice. That's
Well,
how much I liked it.
I'm probably going to buy the book because I absolutely love this movie. This movie shot way up there to one of my top favorite movies of all time, just from the experience
one?
right here. Absolutely,
Oh wow.
absolutely, and I'll tell you why. This movie is a one thing I can think of that plays to the highest common denominator, and the highest common denominator is acceptance. And that's what this movie is about. To me, it's about acceptance. It's about acceptance of what goes on within us. It's about acceptance of how we treat other people, how other people treat us. I found that the Rachel McAdams character was, I'll tell you why I say she was from the 70s.
Okay.
You're forgetting the 70s were the end of the 60s.
Hippies.
She
I
is,
know, I was
well,
there.
she's not, she would be a hippie if she weren't in this married situation.
Right.
But what she is an artist. And you see when she sees that bird, the joy that she has, she's going to be able to
Right.
have the bird. And then when the other woman shows up at the door, it's like that's perfect for the way that puts a thing on it. Because
Yeah.
what she is doing that I thought was very real was just volunteering for everything. It's
Exactly,
actually very
yes.
much an Al-Anon movie.
It really is.
It really is, and it's like it's just that I found every single character in this movie I found to be really lovable in a way that it was so real about them. I mean, the relationship between the four girls, I've never seen that done quite like that before. It was like, I mean, I know there's a traveling pants, whatever that is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah,
older
Sisterhood
girls. They're
of the
much older
traveling
Those are
girls.
older girls, but these girls who were, these prepubescent girls who actually accepted each other. Like when the pretty blonde girl comes and introduces herself to her, she's this lovable character. She comes in and says, "Hi, I'm your neighbor. We do here.
Nancy, I think her name
Right,
is.
she's not a mean girl.
Yeah, she's not a mean girl.
No.
She's like she invites her into the club.
That part is true.
Yeah.
When you have a group of friends and somebody else comes in, you're very accepting of them.
Right, if you are accepting, but in most other movies that I've seen, it's like
Mean Girls.
Yeah, we don't want you to. They're going to be making fun of her, and they didn't. They kept going against the grain on this in terms of the cliches that I'm used to seeing, and I just fell in love with every single one of them. All four of those girls in that group.
I was also glad that we didn't have 11-year-olds played by 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, the casting of the movie was great. The direction
Yeah.
of the movie was great, and the writing just beautiful. And I'll give it
Yeah,
to Judy Boom and the director.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, but I mean, I've known of this book for like 50 years. I used to work in bookstores, but now I think I really want to read this book.
Judy Blume is a great young
Great
adult
series.
writer.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. When I watch movies, the first thing I ask them is this from a book? Because if it's written from a book, the writing's going to be good. So that's important. Whereas necessarily if it's written from a screenplay, if that's the source, then it's a hit or miss. I'm not sure. But if it's written from a book, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be
I
good.
agree with you as a general rule, but there are definitely exceptions because cinema and literature are two very different mediums. And some
Absolutely.
things are written to be heard internally. Some things need to be expressed visually.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
some of the time, like when you see something on the screen, you say, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's that's the way I remembered it." That's when they managed to get both of them together. But I remember it was always the attitude was always the movie's never as good as the book. When I was young,
That's
back
true.
in the 50s.
That's true.
There are
That's
some
true.
things you can't do. Like I use Alice in Wonderland, and somebody did a great technique that I thought was great. When they're talking to themselves, somebody is talking to themselves.
Right.
Because in most books, like Alice in Wonderland. It's going on in her head.
Mhm.
It's not going on exteriorly. So I forget what I saw, something where they did that thing of they were talking to themselves. I was like, oh, that's brilliant for a movie,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
right? Because that's one of the problems why I say Alice in Wonderland can never be a good movie. Because it's all
It's too
going
internal.
on in
It's
her
too
head.
internal.
It's all
Oh,
cerebral.
but you just
Shall
reminded
we
me of a
do
movie.
the
I got to
scoring?
do Dream Child.
Huh?
Should we do the scoring?
Yeah, let's do the scoring, Patty.
You're gonna hate me.
I don't
One.
hate you.
I'm giving you a 1
Wow.
I gave
because
it.
of the mother
Oh.
and the daughter's character were not
You
realistic.
too.
I gave this a 7.
Shut up.
Jordan.
No, I enjoyed it. I give it a 10.
Well, I'm coming out of retirement for a 10 because of you.
No, you can't give any dog.
Oh, yes,
it-
I can.
I
No.
give it a 10 also.
And you know what? A great thing about a great show about people who I talk about internal dialogue.
Yeah.
MacGyver.
Oh, and by the way,
Wow.
Bob mentioned to me, which I guess Judy Bloom actually makes a cameo appearance in the movie.
She's
That's what
yeah,
he
the woman.
said.
Yeah.
She's listed as a woman walking dog.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. So
Uh,
are we over? Are
Yeah,
we-
Yes,
we're
we are.
over.
Okay, so we have ended.
it's been a lively one.
Remember to subscribe and like us.
Please
And
like us.
yes, please like us.
Please comment.
And,
Forget them, like me.
No, like me.
like
No, there's
us,
nobody like you.
us. Okay, so we'll see you next time.
Yes, follow our
Bye.
Patreon
Thank
and
you.
buy
Thank
me
you for
coffee.
watching.